Breaking news into First Take out of Cleveland. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski has tested positive for COVID-19, according to our Adam Schefter. 2 other coaches and players dealing with COVID-related issues. They are closing their facilities. Fellas, the Browns have not won a playoff game since 1995. Jeff Saturday's joining the conversation here. Stephen A., I'll start with you. They just started turning things around. What a gut punch. And now Sunday night, they're going to have to go against your Steelers. How big of an impact do you think this is going to affect the game?
Well, to me, not much of an impact at all. They were going to lose anyway. That's how I look at it. I mean, hey, They got the perfect excuse to go down. I mean, I wish them in all seriousness nothing but the best. Kevin Stefanski, he's the son of a very dear friend of mine, Ed Stefanski, who was an executive in the NBA for years and still there right now. I wish him nothing but the best. He's done an outstanding job as coach. I hope he and his coaching staff and the players are all safe. In all seriousness, we wish them nothing but the best. I'm dead serious about that, obviously. But from a football perspective, I expected the Browns to lose anyway, and I still expect them to lose. So the way I look at it, the impact is going to be pretty much non-existent because the results are going to be exactly what I expected them to be. The Browns are going into the playoffs after 17 years. They should be happy about that. We wish them nothing but the best. Hope they're safe and healthy. But they are going down Sunday night on the football field.
Well, I feel terrible for the football fans in Cleveland, which is, the dog pound. Like, those guys they started a grassroots movement to get the Cleveland Browns name back, to get a franchise back in Cleveland. When Cleveland, when they up and left and went to Baltimore, who lost their franchise to the Colts, to Indy, not, that long before then. But the point is, those football fans have been through thick and thin, and usually thin, or whatever the bad one is. And they keep showing up and they keep supporting the Browns. And they even got a Browns team back when it was taken away from them. And they've had almost no reason to ever be optimistic. But they finally do now. They got the #1 overall pick in the draft, who looked for a little while. Is that a bust or no? Oh, okay, it was just too many head coaches too soon. No stability. He got a good one in Stefanski, settled down, and Baker looks like he's on his way. He's at least a solid starting quarterback. And they have an identity, run the ball, stop the run. And they have receivers Baker can get the ball to. And the Browns have real optimism that they can beat the Steelers. And, in fact, I picked them until this news came out to score the upset. And I'm not sure that I'm moving off of that just because of this, because they have even more to play for and to bring them together as a team, which they're going to need. It would be such a monumental thing psychologically and emotionally for the Steelers to realize it's not just the Ravens that we have to deal with in this division. There's another 11-win team. If the Browns can upset the Steelers, the way we even think about that division in the NFL completely changes. I think they have everything to play for, and I'm not going to count them out because they got a bit of bad news, but this is bad news. It makes it more difficult for them to win this game.
Yeah, listen, I think when you look at this is going to be insurmountable. And when you're talking about Stefanski not being there, the distractions throughout the week, we don't even know the players yet. And then, what's going to happen with the contact tracing for other players. I mean, we've seen teams play without a quarterback. We saw the Browns a few weeks ago play without receivers. I mean, this is as bad as it gets as far as trying to prepare for a playoff game. But I'll take it any deeper. Stefanski, first year, missing his first opportunity to coach a playoff game. And as a play caller for Baker Mayfield, helping him, finding rhythm, finding different ways to manufacture offense, which, by the way, they will have to do if they have any chance against the Steelers because they cannot leave their defense on the field. I mean, look, as bad as the Steelers' offensive line has played running the ball and really even in pass rush win efficiency. I know I've had all kind of Steelers fans say, oh, they're not giving up sacks. It's because Roethlisberger gets the ball out of his hand in a second and a half. So, they played one really good quarter of football, the Steelers, against the Colts a few weeks ago, and that showed you how proficient they could be strikes down the field, which we know Cleveland is vulnerable to. So, I think when you look at this is just going to be one of those things they can't overcome. All this hitting them this late in the season or this early in the week of the playoffs. you hate it, man. Because, listen, when you get to this point, I don't care what anybody says. Like, the regular season is what it is. But it is when you get to this level of football and you make the playoffs and you have a shot for this kind of thing to tip the scales, I just feel awful for them, for their fans. Man, it's a bummer, man. It just sucks that it's happening.
No question.
For this organization.
It really does, especially how they turn things around. Pittsburgh's already a 5.5-point favorite. This is just a huge blow for them. We'll continue to keep you up to speed on any other news with that COVID situation there. But let's go from some depressing news and let's laugh at Stephen A. It's time now for Stephen. Next were as follows. You can take a look right there, but I want to focus on Trevor Lawrence at 1 and Justin Fields at 3. On that note, we bring in my guy, Mel Kiper Jr. Mel, so great to see you. Happy New Year. I hope you and the family had a wonderful day, wonderful holidays. Before we jump into this draft, which I'm very excited to get into, I want to get your thoughts on the last conversation we had because it got pretty heated. What did you think of this whole Giants-Philly situation and how it all played out?
Just watching it, it was kind of mind-boggling to watch things that were going on there. At the end of the third quarter, you had a 4th and goal from the 5. You don't kick the field goal there, a tie game 17-17, where points are hard to come by. You got to play momentum. You got to have a feel for the game. And Max was talking during the break, well, you don't want to play scared. Play smart. It's not playing scared. You're playing smart. You get that game 17-17. Boy, now all of a sudden things are going to fall your way. And then you pull Jalen Hurts when you're trying to evaluate your young quarterback. Let him finish. Let him right the ship. We saw Patrick Mahomes struggle for almost, 3.5 quarters, then light it up in the last 7-8 minutes and get MVP. Quarterbacks want the opportunity to start and finish. Jalen Hurts had a right to finish that game. What good is it putting Nate Sudfeld out there? He has no future with this team in terms of being a starting quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles. So for me, on a lot of levels, there are a lot of things going wrong there that, like I say, Doug Peterson has to answer to if I'm the owner after that game was over.
Hey, real quick, guys, I would say this. We don't need to get bogged down in the decision to go for it on 4th. I did not mind that at all. I'm a Giants fan, so I want them to win. But I 100% agree with you about Hurts. The reason the Sudfeld argument doesn't hold water is because what you need to evaluate is your second-round quarterback, because Wentz ain't the guy. So going forward, do you need to look for a quarterback, or do you have one in Hurts? And one of the things is primetime game, playoff implications for the division, down 3 points, 4th quarter, the trend of your game is going down. Can you get it together and win the thing? That's what you want to find out. It was outrageous.
Wentz is the guy. I disagree. I think Wentz is the guy. Whether they believe it or not, Wentz should be the guy. Wentz has proven to be a heck of a quarterback. People act like Wentz has never done anything in the NFL. Give me a break. So, again, surround the guy with players, keep everybody healthy, and Wentz is the guy. But whatever they decide to do is their decision. But in my opinion, Wentz should be the quarterback of this football team.
Mel Kiper Jr., always good to see you, buddy. Happy New Year. I just want to make sure that you are aware. The person who forgot that Carson Wentz ever did anything in the NFL would happen to be Max Keller. We can move
on. All right, I'm going to pick it up here. All right, Mel Kiper Jr., talk to me about this, sir. The #1 spot, are you sold that it's Trevor Lawrence and not Justin Fields with how he's been playing?
1,000,000%, Molly. No, it's not even worth talking about. Let's not waste time on that. It's
Trevor why? Why are you sure?
One. The body of work. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is lock, stock, the #1 guy. Nobody's even close. So it's right now him. Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, we hope. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a spectacular quarterback in the NFL for a lot of reasons. But that decision, I think, has already been made. The Jaguars are fortunate to be #1 over the Jets. You take the guy that everybody wanted, that everybody was hoping, all the fans trying to get the #1 pick to get Trevor Lawrence. Works out that's the Jaguars' major need. Whether Urban Meyer's a coach, whoever becomes the coach of the Jaguars, with all those draft picks, 7 in the first 4 rounds, in addition to Trevor Lawrence at #1. It's Trevor Lawrence. Like I say, this is like a secretariat and the rest of the horses in that race, the Triple Crown.
Mel, for so many folks out there who haven't watched these guys play, like you say, it's not worth talking about, but I'd really appreciate you illuminating why that is.
Sure.
Break down what each quarterback brings to the table, because you got folks with the Jets at #2, and they're like, okay, well, you know what? We don't get Trevor Lawrence. Hell, we can get Justin Fields. This dude could be special. Talk to us about the potential for these, just highlight for us the difference between these quarterbacks since you said they're miles apart in your eyes?
All right, Trevor Lawrence, Stephen A. would be in the John Elway, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. You lock them in, you don't debate it, okay? You lock them in, you don't debate it. Justin Fields going into this year, I thought would be right there as kind of 1 and 1A, but it was going to be Trevor, but it was going to be Justin Fields.